Setting up a homemade steel wood turkey blind. William Hovey Smith, 2019. This is the third of perhaps 5 videos in this series. The previous ones have been using salvaged steel tubing to make a turkey blind, using salvaged wood to make a turkey blind, this one, of course, setting up, and we've already published the story Rainy Day Turkey Hunting, and hopefully we will do one, Turkey Success using a homemade blind. I am the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, so we do all kinds of outlandish things in the outdoors, including turkey hunting, and that's what this is all about. I also have a business book, Create Your Own Job Security. Now, this book promotes individual entrepreneurship at any age to raise money whenever you need it. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. I've set my first stake. I'm not saying much while I'm doing this because, in fact, I've got turkeys out there right now. The holes are deep enough to support the shooting rail. As you can see, it will stand even when held by only a single pole, at least for a little while. I'm using a drive mallet that I made from a wooden 2x4 in the previous video to set those poles without deforming the tops. Here I'm lifting the shooting rail a little bit so I can get that supporting tube under it. I'm now setting the third steel tube that'll support the shooting rail, and I'm going to use 2 more of them on the ends of the wing walls. The wood in the shooting rails is heavy enough that I can actually hit it with a soft mallet without deforming the wood. The 3 steel posts, once they're driven in the ground, are actually sufficient to support the blind, but I am going to reinforce it by other means. and affix the top edge of the blind. I now have the top of the cloth secured by these zip ties to both the post and little sapling, and so that's going to keep that steady and in the same place and keep the whole assembly from sort of flapping in the breeze. Well, our blind is now completed. Standing on the inside of it, you can see the ties there. I'm going to cut those off for aesthetic reasons, if for no other. You can also see that line running off to the right, and that connects to the base of a small sapling. And then we come around to the front, and of course there's our shooting rail. Then around to the other side, where you see our 3 supporting posts and our terminal little sapling here. So this is a pretty solid construction for use of such light materials. Here's the blind from a turkey's point of view. You still need to wear full camo if you're inside it to be hid. If you had white stuff inside there, yeah, you'd still see it. We'll just have to see how it works. Well, the blind as I built it is plenty strong. It really wasn't transparent enough. So I wanted to put an opaque backing in the back of the blind so that would really offer positive concealment. In looking for an opaque drape to put on the back of my blind, I considered this tarp. Well, 2 things wrong about it. The tarp itself is noisy and crinkly. Plus, on the back side it has this nearly white surface that I can't do very much with. So that's the reason I rejected this option. Another option that I had is this piece of material here, which is padding, shipping padding actually. And it was given to me, and I use it to cover this dog box on the back porch to give it some insulation in the wintertime. I don't have any dogs I'm keeping out here right now, but its problem is this is thick, and it also has fabric in the interior, so which would tend to wet and get heavy. And so although the color is good, no, that wouldn't do either. I had an old blind that I hadn't actually used for a decade, but I made it from a painted drop cloth about 20 years ago. And I'm now taking it apart so I can salvage the cloth. I did a good job of sewing those many years ago, but taking it apart carefully like this enables me to get nice rectangular pieces of cloth, as well as preserving the grommets I've already put in the piece. About every 6th stitch I put a lock stitch in here so it doesn't just come apart by the pulling. Well, that operation has given me rectangular pieces now. The material with grommets already in it, already painted, somewhat waterproofed, and now I can measure and cut. The larger piece that I'm painting by now is long enough that I'll actually be able to construct the fronts for 2 blinds out of it. And the smaller one on the carport floor is going to be just about ideal for draping some of my friends' climbing stands where the drapery material is long since gone, or even used on some of my own. So, yeah, all of this stuff is going to get used. I've laid the electrical cord out straight to give me more or less a straight cut line. And my assistant over there is holding the other end. And this will give us 2 good long pieces for our blind with grommets already attached and already waterproof, and save us hours of work trying to do this right now. I now have 2 blind drapes, one of which is rolled for deployment in the field and can be easily carried anywhere. And the other one will allow me to make a similar blind using it. Here in front of Hound Dog there's a good pair of scissors there, and that has about an 8-inch cut, I say. And if you don't have such a good heavy pair of scissors and you're an outdoors guy, yeah, you need to get you a pair, because you're going to need ultimately to cut some cloth. And there's nothing that beats good scissors. And now we have our interior lining in our blind. And this is what it, of course, it looks like on the inside. And now, the turkey's point of view. And there's the shooting rail there, and the wing wall running off in the back. Of course, my gun against a pine tree. There's a hole, but that's not significant now. Okay. We're ready to kill turkeys. But now this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Besides backyard deer hunting, I have other outdoor books. And these include Extreme Muzzleloading and Crossbow Hunting, both of which discuss turkey hunting. I also have a series of books on shooting muzzleloading guns, and these include Shooting and Maintaining Your Muzzleloader, as well as hunting with muzzleloading shotguns and smoothbore muskets. My new book, Create Your Own Job Security, advocates that a person start many businesses during their lifetime. This may be as early as high school. Then in college, take some business courses along with your major. And finally, when you go to work for the man doing your profession, you have your own business already established and running and quietly in the background. Then, should you become unexpectedly unemployed in your 40s or later, you already have your business developed to fall back on. This book is available from Amazon.com and many other sources. While the structural characteristics of the blind were sufficient, the near-transparent burlap blind cloth wasn't really working for me. I needed an opaque back on it, so I went ahead and used my salvaged blind material to make it. For more information on my books, blogs, and nearly 750 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. For more information on my business books, you can go to createyourownjobsecurity.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.